these people are just idiots. I really, I'm at the point where it's become really hard to have an intellectual debate with any of these people. The dumbing of the United States has arrived, because how else do we get a Trump presidency again?
The last time the Alien Enemies Act was invoked, it was used to detain and deport German, Japanese, Italian immigrants during World War XI.
These people are...
Today we're outside of Quality Learning Center. They spelt the name wrong, so they actually came and corrected it. The interesting about this daycare here in Minnesota is it received $1.9 million in the fiscal year of 2025, and it has a capacity for upwards of 90 children. And what makes this daycare even more interesting is that while the Commissioner of Children of Minnesota was saying that the daycare was closed on a live stream,
Quality Learning Center closed just over a week ago.
A Somalian man was outside talking about how they are open, letting children in, and right now they are funneling children into the daycare as well. And right now, they're not really leering much because they have accepted over $1.9 million, and now the Commissioner of Children literally said this place was closed, and now you have people funneling in children. The parking lot's full right now. This is all a big slap. They received $1.9 million. It was a complete fraud. Today,
we've got to talk about the Quality Learning Center, plus more, including Ilhan, Omar, and old Timmy Walls. Yeah, we got to talk about Timmy. But before we hop into that, I want to give somebody a little bit of credit, okay? And I know some people are going to say, Rich, he's just doing his job. Yeah, I get that. But in today's world, where you have a lot of individuals, we have a lot of rhinos in our party who, find a way to not do their job. John Thune out of South Dakota, he's up for re-election in 2028. I know I keep saying that, guys, but I'm going to keep repeating that because I despise John Thune's. He's basically the reason why we haven't just ramrodded legislation through this entire time. It's literally basically come down to John Thune. Okay, so if you're wondering why I keep saying his name, it's because he's the one standing in the way. But anyway, I want to talk about Todd Blanche really quickly, and I want to throw this up on the screen. All right, Todd Blanche, acting FBI director. Okay, after, not FBI director. That is Kash Patel. Excuse me. He replaced Pam Bondi, which, I'm not even going to say anything negative about Pam Bondi. Let's just say this. Had Pam Bondi still been there, this would not have been done. All right? So we got the Somali fraudsters raid, which we're going to talk about here in a second. Dr. Fauci scientists arrested and indicted. Comey indicted again. ActBlue under investigation. SPLC indicted. Okay. John Brennan under investigation. Fonnie Willis under investigation. J6 liar Cassidy Hutchinson investigation. All of the above, right? All of the above. In just a couple of weeks. Todd Blanche has been doing a darn thing, so I want to take a little second to say shout out to Todd Blanche. We appreciate you, Todd. We appreciate you. I really didn't know who Todd Blanche was before all of this, but now I'm getting quite familiar with Todd Blanche, and I'm starting to like the guy. Really starting to like the guy. Shout out to Todd Blanche. But let's hop on into this FBI raid in Minneapolis. Check it out.
Just moments ago now, large-scale raids targeting federal fraud currently underway. Federal agents seen leaving the Quality Learning Center. And Brooke Taylor has more on that and what they're looking for. Brooke, good morning.
Hi, Bill. Good morning. Yeah, we have had a photographer there at the daycare since this morning, capturing video of those federal agents just going in and out of the building, collecting evidence as part of the DOJ's fraud investigation in Minnesota. Take a look at this video here. Sources tell Fox that federal agents are raiding about 22 businesses across Minneapolis this morning. And sources say many of them are tied to Somali-owned operations. All of this comes comes after that viral YouTube video from Nick Shirley. It was back in December. In that video, he visited different child care centers, and you'll remember they were either closed or there were just no children inside, despite receiving state child care funding. Now, the location that you're looking at right now, it's the Quality Learning Center. This is the daycare. It went viral. It blew up on social media because of a sign outside with learning that was literally misspelled. The education secretary at the time claimed that the daycare received $1.9 million while, quote, masquerading as a daycare. And then shortly after that, the Trump administration announced it was freezing child care funding to Minnesota and calling for a full audit of certain daycare centers. And just checking my emails now, it looks like we got a statement from DHS sharing, quote, Homeland Security investigations in cooperation with our law enforcement partners executed criminal search warrants in Minneapolis relating to the rampant fraud of U.S. taxpayers' dollars. And as you could see there, federal agents still outside one of those daycare centers where they have been the last few hours. And all of this comes as Governor Tim Walz is expected to deliver his State of the State address tonight. And it's obviously comes with a lot of questions over oversight. Bill.
Brooke, thanks. Brooke Taylor watching that out of Minnesota.
Yeah. Love to hear it. I love to hear it. Didn't happen under Pam Bondi, but it's happening now. All right. And speaking of old Timmy Walz having his speech getting ready to happen, he tried to take credit for what is just currently happening in Minneapolis, and let's just say it didn't really turn out too well for him. Yeah, he got owned not only by Cash Patel, but also by
on his lie.
Whoa. Not only by Cash Patel, but also by the mayor of Minneapolis. Check it out.
From his own city by FBI Director Cash Patel and by people in the comments after he posted on X trying to take credit for the large-scale federal raids happening in Minnesota today targeting fraud. Trust me, you will want to see Tim's post, Patel's post, the city's post, and the top responses that follow, which I will quickly show you. Also, don't forget to hit the follow for more news, so let's get right into it. So Tim Walz posted, today's raids by state and federal law enforcement happened because our state agencies caught irregular behavior and reported it. That's how the system is supposed to work, and our agencies will keep at it as long as there are fraudsters around to put behind bars. If you commit fraud in Minnesota, you're going to get caught, and that's exactly what we saw today. We catch criminals when state and federal agencies share information. Joint investigations work, and securing justice depends on it. Now let's work on a joint investigation into the K-word of Alex Preddy and Renee Good instead of cherry-picking when we seek justice and when we turn a blind eye. Cash Patel, come again? This FBI and DOJ with our DHS partners drafted and executed every search warrant today. But go ahead and take credit for our work while we smoke out the fraud plaguing Minnesota under your governorship. The city of Minneapolis is not involved in the federal operations being reported around Minnesota today, and as of 9:30 a.m., MPD has not been asked to assist with the execution of federal warrants. Secretary Markwayne Mullin, you have zero credibility on this issue. Governor Tim Walz, you have willingly ignored and downplayed the rampant fraud and abuse in Minnesota. This crackdown on fraud has come thanks to the leadership of President Trump. We will hold those who steal from Americans accountable. Autism Capital, there's no way he's trying to take credit for this LMFAO. Holy smokes, the level of diluted manipulation, wow. Representative Claudia, you didn't catch them, Nick Shirley did. Kiss, sure Tim. And Kevin Dalton, I'm old enough to remember when Governor Tim Walz insisted there was no evidence of fraud in Minnesota. So, will you give Tim Walz credit? Oh.
So old Timmy Walz trying to take credit. And as the last person said there, it wasn't very long ago when he was saying that this was just a political witch hunt, that there wasn't any fraud. There was nothing going on. So now now he wants to take credit for the fraud being eradicated. Right. That makes a whole lot of sense. Also, we got to talk about Ilhan Omar because she's gone missing. Kind of interesting on the timing on that one.
More on this tonight. We are joined live by Minnesota State Representative Kristen Robbins. She's the chair of the Minnesota House Fraud Prevention and State Oversight Committee, also a candidate for Minnesota governor. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And we hear from Congresswoman Omar, who has said this discrepancy involving the Safari restaurant was nothing more than an accounting error. She has said that this is all just a partisan stunt. What is your response to those comments?
Well, I take issue with that. This is not a partisan stunt. This is billions of Minnesota tax dollars and federal tax dollars, because it's a federal school meals program, that have been stolen. And she had a close relationship with some of the fraudsters who owned the Safari restaurant. She had her campaign events there. She appeared in a video that we played in committee where she was speaking in Somali from the restaurant, explaining how the Meals Act, her bill, is what created the opportunity for people to have much more access to these meals during COVID. So she was in on this from the beginning, and I think she should, as a public official, come and answer the questions. So she didn't show up. She didn't respond to us. She didn't respond to a reporter. So we've set a deadline for May 5th for her to respond to our questions.
What specific evidence do you have in regards to the Congresswoman's role in this alleged fraud case?
So there are a few things that are raising concerns, which is why we want to talk to her. So the first is that she authored the Meals Act, which was passed in March of 2020, and that took the guardrails off the federal school nutrition program. So all of a sudden, income requirements, the need to eat the meal on site, the fact that restaurants were now able to provide the meals, all of that happened because of her bill. So she took the guardrails off the program, and then her friends who own the restaurant and were some of the convicted fraudsters jumped right in and participated. So we need to understand that relationship. But also in the case, the court case, Feeding Our Future, which was the U.S. versus Amy Bach, her staff is listed in many of the trial exhibits for communications between her office and the Feeding Our Future people. So I want to get those underlying exhibit documents. And so I've asked her office for them. I think it's very important that we understand what kind of communication she was having with these fraudsters. And not everyone in the documents has been charged, but many of the people have been charged and convicted. And those that aren't, still had a relationship with her office. So we're trying to just understand the truth. And I think she owes it to taxpayers in Minnesota and around the country to come in and answer these questions.
Oh, she is most certainly tied into all of this. She's connected to all of these individuals, as far as I've seen, all of these individuals who are being accused and convicted, some of them, of fraud. So you mean to tell me, like, she had no clue what was going on or possibly wasn't involved in it? Come on now. Like, I might have been born at night, but it wasn't last night. All right? Like, let's call a spade here. You knew exactly what was going on, Ilhan. If not flat out completely involved in it. I think there's a whole lot of covering up going on here. You guys probably might remember when, I can't remember her position. She worked with the state, I believe, and she was like, the Leering Center is actually closed. It closed down, but in reality, it hadn't closed down. And I think Nick Shirley was talking about that. One of the guys that worked there, or the owner, like came out like a couple of days later saying that they were completely open. So they were all trying to cover for each other, is what it seems like to me. And there was a miscommunication somewhere where she was trying to cover for him and he didn't get the message, or that let me know everything I needed to know about the entire situation. There's a whole lot of covering up going on, and I wouldn't be surprised if once this investigation is over, we find out that a lot of this money that was gotten via fraud, allegedly, it circled back to some of these politicians in donations. Some of these same individuals who were defrauding the government were donating to these folks' campaigns. Oh, we won't say anything, but hey, that donation link, you know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, I would not be surprised if it came out that way. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that story to you guys. It's about darn time, right? It's about darn time. Shout out to Todd Blanche. Y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.